Hello everybody, welcome. It's great to have you here. Thank you ever so much for your time in being here, and it's really good to be here today. And we're going to spend again about 15 minutes talking to you about how to grow your business. This is something I call my Results Mastery Live, and I'm privileged and pleased to have a good friend and client of mine with me today, Jeremy Stock, from a company called Run Print Run. Now, I'll introduce Jeremy in a little while and bring him into the conversation. But for now, I just want to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. I'm on a bit of a mission, and I've been on that mission for many, many years, 28 of them to be honest, and that is to try and help small businesses. And I know it's something that Jeremy and I have definitely got in common. And we're today talking to you about what we call the marketing fundamentals. So right now, we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're on iTunes, and we're also on Amazon Music and about 30 other different places. And, you know, that in itself just blows me away, and I'm sure it does you as well, that, you know, we can do that. Back years ago, if I wanted to get a message out to 1,000 people, that involved 1,000 stamps and 1,000 envelopes and so on and so forth. And whilst the world has changed, and you know we're in a very much the digital age, there's still, I believe, a fundamental need for what I call, I don't know whether you call it the marketing basics or the marketing fundamentals, but the stuff that you need in terms of marketing. So I'm going to bring Jeremy into the conversation now. Thanks for being here, Jeremy. I really appreciate it. It's great to see you and to be talking to you live on LinkedIn.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Great. So to kick off, let's just have a conversation around what are the fundamentals, what are the basic things that businesses sometimes miss out on, either because they don't understand or they're in a world of, in this digital world that we're all in, or simply they just don't ever get around to doing.
I think we've all seen reports of like the ideal 1 to 5, 1 to 20, whatever it is, things that make sales and marketing work. And we all know each one of them does work. Each one of them individually works. But the most important thing for me is don't forget that whatever you're trying to sell, whether it's services or goods, those services and goods, you believe in your company. You know that those goods and services are really good. You just want to make sure that there's people out there that can and do listen to what you want to say. When it comes down to digital marketing, we all use that, of course. But there's also other forms of marketing. For instance, giveaway products, which is what we happen to do. But those giveaway products, it's really important. You can't just give something to somebody. You have to make sure that you're talking to them, that you're conversing with them, that they like you, they like your company. They understand what the company is like. There's no point in just giving them a really nice toy to play with. You need to give them a nice toy to play with, and they remember who you are and what you can do.
Yeah,
that's one of marketing.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And, there's, as you said, there's that thing about, how it, I hear sometimes people tell me it takes 8 contacts to make a sale, or it takes 12 contacts or 20 contacts, or whatever the truth is, I don't know. But I do believe, and I'm sure you do too, that, you can't just be in a world where you go, here's an email, here's an email, here's an email. It needs to be mixed up, doesn't it? So we need to pick up the phone and talk to people. We need to send them an email. We need to connect to them on LinkedIn. We need to send them a promo goods. We might want to invite them to an event and perhaps a networking event that we're going to attend. And, I think it's the more different, if you've got 4, 5, 6 or maybe even 10 different ways of communicating with people, that's much more powerful than relying on any one form of marketing.
I agree with you 100%, especially with those networking events. Don't get me wrong, we don't tend to do a lot of them. We should do more of them. We gain nothing from talking about networking events now because we don't get involved at all. But networking events, if I was starting out again and I was younger and I had good products good services to offer. Those networking events, remembering that you might meet up with 20 or 30 people for breakfast, but each of those 20 or 30 people know another 10 or 20 or 30 people themselves.
Yeah.
You hardly need to do anything else. But the fundamental thing is you have to believe in your company. The fundamental thing is believe and love your company and all the people that work for you and all your suppliers. Love your company so much. So when you talk about
good
it,
advice.
people will go, oh, wow, what a great company.
I also feel that sometimes, people go, oh yeah, we're great. We're really very, very passionate about what they do. They're an accountant, they're a car mechanic, they're a landscape gardener, whatever it is they do, they're very good at and very passionate about. But what they're not good at is the marketing side of it, isn't it? I always remember one example. I worked with a company in Maidenhead, not far from you, and they called themselves Maidenhead's leading firm of solicitors. Now, I didn't know about their technical work, but they were really good at what they did. They had a good reputation, lots of client testimonials, very successful company. And yet, without naming them, their website looked like it was one man and a dog, literally working out of a bedroom. Their marketing materials maybe slightly better than that, but they hadn't really invested in making sure that not only were they saying they were good, but they were looking good as well.
Good point again. I keep saying good point, Steve. Sorry, but it wasn't a good point. But when it comes down to us chatting now, or anybody walking into my office now, or a phone ringing and me speaking to somebody new, no matter what they see of me talking and extolling the virtues of our company, the first thing they're going to do is get on the website, have a look at the website, and see if we look how we sound.
Yeah.
And even if you only have a one-page website and nothing more, that one page has got to be superb. Now, maybe at the end of this, a few people might look at our website and say, well, that's not quite as good as he's making out. But we're constantly changing our website.
Yeah, sure.
We're constantly amending it just to make sure. And this is another thing that we don't really offer. We don't offer a website design, but it's important. The websites look really good in the past.
It is. I would say probably, the website and the business card, although, I hear people say, oh, I don't have a business card now, I don't need one, which personally I think is absolute rubbish. You do need a business card because at some point you're going to need a business card, and saying, oh, I've not got a card, I've not got one with me. It's just, I think, just crackers, to be honest. So you need a card and you need a good quality. Again, the quality of the card, it's even on. People judge you by all these things. Whether you like it or not, people are going to judge you by the way you dress, what your office is like, what your website's like, what your business card, what your brochures, leaflets, your pop-up stand, all that sort of stuff. If you've not got that, or if you've got it and it's rubbish, people are going to judge you. I stand up and I say, I'm the leading expert in my field, and I've got a banner behind me that's old and tatty, and it's got the wrong website on it, and it looks terrible. People are going to go, not sure whether that guy's quite as authentic as he could be here, and that's what we're always trying to judge, isn't it? We're trying to judge, is it true? Can I believe him? Is Jeremy great at what he does? Is Steve great at what he does? Because if they don't know us, that's all they've got to judge us on, really. On
Jeremy is great at what he does.
I know he is. I know it. That's why he's here.
But I was going to say also that one of the important things is that if you turn up at a meeting and you've just got a cheap little car, pup, you turn up with. If it's dirty, it comes across as being, hey, these guys aren't really on the ball.
Yeah.
If you're just wearing jeans and a T-shirt to the meeting, that's fine. But if it's a dirty old T-shirt, it won't work. And all I'm saying is that from marketing and selling, two completely different things that people get mixed up.
Yeah.
But two completely different things. From a marketing point of view, you have to be trained and aware of how people see you. I was always taught that when we used to have little shop premises when we first started, go across the other side of the road every morning and look at your business as if you're a potential client. The same goes with the way that we do our marketing. We might think we're being really clever with our online marketing or meetings online or whatever. We might think we're being really smart, but often we're not. When you look back and you think, oh, God, how could I have shown that, said that, or done that? So you have to be very, very careful and think to yourself, I'm looking at my business from the outside, not the inside.
Yeah. I often try to get people to think of it on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, I think it's such a good, it's like I look at my business card and you say, have you got a good business card, Steve? I go, yeah. It's, it's fine. It's good. I'm happy with it. But if you said to me, so on a scale of 1 to 10, with it being awful, 5 being average and 10 being like the best it could be, where would you rate it? And so that gets people thinking, I think, about whether it's if we ask that question, people listening today, and said, look, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate each and every element of what you do, whether it's, I'm talking primarily offline here, but it also applies to online, whether it's your email marketing or your business card or your pop-up stand that you've got, or your general marketing materials, your logo, your headed paper, your, whatever it is, a little bit like you said with your website, Jeremy, and I'd say exactly the same thing with mine, by the way. It can definitely improve. It's not perfect, nothing ever is, and it's really important for businesses as part of this idea of looking at the fundamentals to look at what they can do to improve in each and every area of their sales and marketing side of their business.
It's funny, every time I have a chat like this with somebody, whether it's face-to-face or online, I think to myself afterwards, what can I do to change things? How can I be, one, different, and how can we, number two, have the wow factor?
Yeah.
How can I see myself from the outside looking in instead of the inside looking out? Yeah. A lot of times people say to me, oh, I'm not a salesperson, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I say to them, have you got any friends? And they go, yeah, I've got friends. Well, you've sold yourself.
Yeah.
If you've got friends, those people want to deal with you.
Yeah.
Now, if we can say that from now onwards, we're only going to be dealing and working with our friends, that's going to be great, but that's not going to happen.
No.
So what you have to do is make everybody like you, like what your company is about. They can see that it's different. They can see that it works. Then they'll trust you, and then they start working with you, and that's what's called marketing.
Yeah, I agree totally. The job of marketing is to get people to know, like, and trust you. And if you can do that, and if you can do that with your company as well, so that not only like Jeremy, but they like Run Print Run, and then they like your products. If you're getting a 10 out of 10 with all those three things, what are they going to do? Google it, or would they just go to the person that they know, like, and trust? A company I'll give you a perfect example. Apple, for me, I just love the company. I would never buy anything else. If Apple come out with a car, I'll probably buy an Apple car. If they come out with a TV, well, they sort of come out with a TV, haven't they? But I'm talking like a, big, 48-inch or whatever TV. I'm there. I want one. And so I'm totally sold by the brand. But when I walk into that Apple shop, I'm not yet sold by the person who's dealing with me. You with me? So sometimes, people buy the company, but they've no relationship with people there, and therefore it's really important to make sure that you've got that as well, and that again, one of the fundamentals that I'd say is missing from a lot of small businesses is the old mnemonic, KIT them, keep in touch. People don't keep in touch often enough. When I say how often do you keep in touch with people, I go, well, I've been busy and, whenever I can. But it's so important. And again, it doesn't have to be done, you don't have to always phone them. You can email them, you can send them something. There's nothing better for me than, when somebody the other day, Jeremy, one of my clients, right, sent me the new Sheffield Wednesday shirt. now I know I'm going to get some form of sarcasm on that, but for me it was brilliant. He just wanted to say thank you. It was like, oh my God, this is brilliant, I mean, it cost him 50 quid or whatever it was. But, the point being, doing something that was outstanding, as you said, standing out, it's like, not many people would do that. And the fact that he'd bothered to find out I supported Wednesday and then, sent me a shirt, I thought was brilliant.
You do bring up a good point there, a really important point. This applies to us all, and we're all guilty of it. You get your marketing just right. You spend an absolute fortune in time, personnel, money, and so on. And you get your marketing exactly right. But that's only part of the story. You have to make sure if your marketing is really good and you get responses, then you have to be really, really sure that your staff, your website, your ability to be able to see through whatever you're selling is 100%.
Yeah.
So there's no point in doing all that marketing unless you can actually see through it all.
No, I agree.
Marketing makes the company. Sales concretes that.
Yeah.
It's just those two items that are so important.
And then customer service sort of sits on top of it, doesn't it? There's no point, as you say, getting customers, trying to get new customers in, if you're just going to lose them on the back end because you don't keep in touch and you don't deliver what you on the promises that you've made. So that's
there are some companies that I know that their customer service is so good. I would spend every penny I've got. Companies like John Lewis, like Four Seasons Hotel Group.
Yeah,
they can be expensive, but boy, you get great value for money. If somebody says to me, Four Seasons Hotels, I can't afford to stay there. I'd rather spend one night there than two weeks somewhere else. Yeah, because the service is impeccable.
All right, okay.
And their marketing actually shows that backs it up 100%.
Yeah. It's great. It's great when you hear stories like that, isn't it? It really is, because sometimes what we hope we don't actually get, and I often find that with bigger businesses that I sometimes deal with. Whether it's British Rail or a bank or a telecoms company or whatever, you promise the world and it's not always delivered as good as possible. So it's great to hear examples of when that happens, and it's really just about doing more than anybody else, isn't it? If you can do more than other people, more than expected, then that just elevates your business to another level.
That again, I mean, we're talking about marketing here, and whoever's listening right now, a lot of people will be thinking, oh, it's great, these two guys are having a chat about marketing. The marketing is so important to get right. Whether you do it online, whether it's something physical, make sure that people are trained, make sure that they got that smile, they know what they're talking about, they can back it up. And if people do say, well, actually, I'm considering using you for training this or whatever, make sure you can back it up. Make sure that they turn around and they go, wow, that's really great. I hadn't thought of that, or I haven't had that response before. So training is, as far as I'm concerned, is everything backed up with marketing.
I agree. I remember when I first started in the marketing industry, I thought to myself, right, who's the best in the world? So I Googled it, checked it out, and it came up with a guy called Jay Abraham. He was the self-proclaimed world's leading marketing guy, and somebody I've learnt a lot of stuff from over the years. But I'll always remember him talking about something he called the Parthenon of marketing. Just like, I think it's is it in Greece or somewhere? I think it's Greece, where there's the Parthenon with all the pillars, holding the structure, holding the roof up. So it is with marketing, isn't it? And yet, again, so many small businesses make the mistake, in my opinion, of going, right, well, I just do BNI, or I just do networking, and we win business from networking and referral and repeat business. And that for me is three pillars, 3 pillars. Well, what about the other stuff that they could be doing? One interesting one, Jeremy, the other day, when I say the other day, I'm talking about 3 or 4 months ago now, actually, I got a letter in the post with a postcard, all nicely designed, from Google. And I thought to myself, if one of the world's leading technology, digital, everything companies are sending out, envelopes with postcards in them, then, I wonder whether the world is changing and whether that is, something that I ought to do along with everybody listening. It's certainly worth testing, isn't it?
Yes, you should, is my answer.
Yeah, I know. I absolutely agree. Because, I get 250 emails every day. I get probably 2 letters a week. So, if I want to stand out, is it better to send an email or send a letter or a leaflet or a letter and a leaflet or something like that in the post? And I think the answer is it's got to be worth testing.
Do you know? Can I just say that from a marketing and a print point of view, we've gone through this in the past, and it's almost cyclical the way it works. Where sometimes you'll suddenly get something in the post. It might be a bar of chocolate or some sweets, saying, here's a treat on us. Well, that's not good enough anymore. It has to be a bar of chocolate with a note saying something like, "Eat this and you'll die." And you go, "What?" You'll remember it, and you'll then phone them up and find out what this is all about. And when you phone them up, they go, "Oh, great, we're getting a lot of phone calls at work." Or get something like some sweets and say, "Eat these and your teeth will fall out." Well, why did you send it to me? Exactly. You're thinking about what I'm trying to say to you. Give me a call. Yeah,
that's a good one for a dentist. Eat these and your teeth will fall out.
Eat these, your teeth will fall out.
Instead, come and see us.
That's a good one. It's a matter of doing something that somebody else isn't doing. Apart from being great at backing up your service, you want to make people remember you, and that's important.
Real words of wisdom there, I really think. Thank you. So we're just about come to the end. What I'd like to ask you to do, Jeremy, if you would, is just tell people if they need any help from you. And I know you're very into, advising people and helping, not just providing, promo goods, but really, getting an understanding of their business and helping them. What's the best thing for them to do?
Well, we're commercial printers and marketeers. We manufacture and brand all types of giveaways. But I would say, don't just phone up and say, can I order 20,000 pens? Think about how you're going to be able to use those pens. Whether your clients will go, "Wow, that's fantastic," or whether they'll remember you. We have to find a way of making sure your potential clients remember who you are and what you do. Our company, Run Print Run, if you look us up look at our webpage, we supply all sorts of promotional material, but more importantly, we'll ask you questions, especially if you're a small or a young company. And we'll try and make sure that we help you on your journey as you market and promote and push your sales, that we'll be alongside you. And yes, we want to make money out of you, of course, but the only way we're going to do that is by being regular suppliers and holding your hand and helping you through. And if you're a very big company, you know how this all works. We import and manufacture. Our prices are fabulous, but more importantly, we like to be involved in what you're doing. I'd love to be involved in what you're doing.
Fantastic. And website is
runprintrun.co.uk.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jeremy. And from my point of view, I'm here every day, Monday to Friday, 12:30. If you please tell others. I want to get try and help as many people as I can. If I can help you on a one-to-one basis, just go to my website. You can see the link below, steve-mills.com. There's a big gold button, and that will give you access to my diary, and you can just book a meeting with me, and we'll talk about your business, where you are now, where you want to go, and how you're going to get there. Simple as that. So thank you ever so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. And thanks again, Jeremy, for being here.
Thank you.